Now enough with the chit chat. Let's get started. Yeah, welcome back to a series of Wonders events. Joining us, I'm your humble DM Robin. Joining us today by Stefan, play as our human sorcerer Rivani,
Yo,
Nathan, play as Viking or as my paladin, and Kat, play as Tali, or our wood elf rogue. So previously, the team finally, after a lot of trouble, managed to like sneak into the palace, and like along the way they figured it out why everyone went missing. Apparently, there was a siren alarm, and the whole cities are kind of warned to stay in shelter. That is why you can't see anyone on the surface. And the 12 like bell rang kind of also just kind of like presents itself how drastic the situation seems to be, as it's never been ran like 12 times before. So, and as they along the way they went through like the Bastion's stations, and they also witnessed firsthand on seeing like how the magic barrier and the troops are fighting really hard to defend the city. But that's none of their current business right now, because they're inside of the royal banquet. As they went inside the royal banquet, the Rivani managed to get herself into a little bit of trouble, but somehow, yeah, get away with it without.
Always Ravani's fault.
Yeah.
She's always up to no good.
Well, truth be told, it's not really her fault, because that kind of an asshole dwarf crime kingpin kind of forced her hand, and since she's out of the party, she doesn't really have much of a choice. But anyway, Frederick kind of saves her ass by like being there just in time, and the team kind of fend off the dwarves that were the dwarf muscles. Just as they finished their little encounter and went back to the party, they went there just in time to hear the Queen Blackfeather kind of accuse Tali for, well, being the culprit of like killing Sovereign, well, Blackfeather and two of her daughters. And now you're kind of stuck in here and solely rely on that Commander Knox wouldn't sell you guys out, because that's your. You guys never really disguise yourself, besides the dress and everything. So
literally introduced ourselves to Commander Knox.
Yes.
This is
So time went back into the party right at this moment, right after the queen finished her sentences and put out a bounty on your head. What would you guys like to do? Just a reminder, you guys are seeing right now Commander Knox kind of
hasn't seen me
arguing
yet.
with the queen, or kind of having a heated discussion with the queen right now. You can't really tell from afar what they're talking about, but if you guys want, you're free to roll for an insight check to see, or perception check to see what you can tell by emotions and stuff like that. What is trying
insight
to do.
or insight or perception?
Well, it's up to you guys. It's up to you guys on which side you want to check. All right.
23.
All right.
I'm having a bad day.
20.
20. Nice. So, with that high of scores, Stefan, you think that Commander Knox is actually kind of not really defending yourself, but more like he's trying to subtly persuade the queen that this might not be the case, because he just met up with you guys. And Nathan, Viking.
My immersion.
Yes, my immersion. Sorry. Yeah. Viking, you
Fuck
just
it.
saw well, you just kind of pick up like a few sentences of saying that like they might not be they might not be the one who's doing this, there's no evidence of saying that they actually are there, and besides, there are plenty of magic that can probably mimic or mislead the queen and stuff like that. And the queen kind of respond in a way of saying, so you must know who they are and where they are. So it's just a overheard a few key words, and they're kind of having a heated discussion at this point. And then
she's pretty adamant that it's her fault.
Jeez.
Yeah, what would you guys like to do?
Mm,
You got
God,
about,
I'm being-
I would say about 1 minute to decide, because it's like
I sort of try and like sidestep over to the Tali, sort of like tug her sleeves, sort of slightly urgently, sort of trying to like
Yep.
try to like hushed whisper, like, what are we gonna do?
You two are gonna stay here at the party. You like not connected with me. We still need to find the bishop, Commander Knox's friend. Lavinia is dead if we don't. Please, please find him. I am going to find a way out, and I'll meet you back later. Yeah.
Okay.
all right.
I'm gonna start watching the waiters and the servants and see if I can find a pattern, pick up a dish, and see if I can find a server's entrance.
Okay, so
How much was the bounty again?
5K.
for starters, that's what she claimed. It's just for news. 5K is just for news. The other bounty will be discussed later on if they actually bring you guys in, or bring
I mean, if you
Tali in.
guys want to claim that 5K, I'm not against it. Just give me a head start, please.
Uh,
All right.
Uh,
So Ravani, that's what Tali will do. Ravani, what are you doing?
all right. I'm gonna sort of move like inconspicuously over the Viking, tell him like, you heard Tali. We still got a bishop to find. So, any idea where to start looking?
I know of the bishop, but I don't know what he looks like, right?
Commander Knox does describe him for you, so you're looking like he's always dressed like a really simple clothes. You wouldn't tell him from a commoner if you don't know where to look, but Commander Knox does point it out a few distinctive details, so you kind of know. And on this party, like you kind of you kind of can't really tell where he is, or has he even show up yet, because currently, judging by the description you received, there's no sign of him. Currently.
Yeah. We should be very careful who we talk to, but you know, let's mingle. I try and explain. He's a man of the cloth. It should be pretty easy to tell.
Yeah. Just by the side of you, I would like to ask: did you guys introduce yourself to Naira yet? I would say Rainy did.
I did, yeah.
But
I don't think I did.
No one else did,
Okay.
to my knowledge.
Okay. So, all right.
Oh,
the
well,
priest is standing on the side, looking at you, talking. And she kind of turns to you, Rainy, since you're the only one, and says, "How horrible is that? I mean, could you imagine someone would do something like this?"
I'll pipe up, even though I've never met the lady. I'm like, yeah, there's some fucked up people in this world.
Yeah, I mean, especially at this time. I mean, the bishop will be really upset hearing this. I mean, I don't even know.
I don't know how someone could have done such a heinous act. It's just, there's a bit of a tear, but like,
roll for performance check.
No.
No,
I'm not actually bullshitting.
I know, I'm just kidding.
What
Yeah,
I'm
just a
referring to is
slight drop
that
of
Tali
pace.
didn't fucking include me.
Mhm.
Was the fucking act. Like, I'm like,
Why?
I thought, like,
Yeah.
how do you trust people in this world? Like, you know,
When they
people, what
took
you
all the
expect their
fun.
friends to, yeah, it's total double meaning.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
god.
Because I've not disputed it. I've just been like, I must leave now.
Yeah. All right. So Tali,
Yeah,
roll
I-
me another perception check. Ravani,
God.
what were you saying?
I sort of play to Nero going, well I for one don't believe it. I've been I've I've been with her for a long time now. There's no way she could have done what she did.
I'm like, what? You know this psychopath?
All right. This is unexpected, so deserves some dice roll. Let's see how the response plays out.
This is great.
This will be quite exciting. Okay.
Wait,
Naira kind of looks at you. Kind of looks deeper. Her like black like obsidian-like eyes kind of reach in, and then just says, "So, you're saying that the queen lied, which is highly unlikely. And you said you know this person? This horrible creature that did this unthinkable crime?"
I'm not.
She's
I'm
raising
not-
her hands right
Wait-
now and
Wait
saying,
now. As this is
"Guards!"
being said,
Yeah.
I'm like, I go from being on Ravani's side, like looking at her, to like I casually go and I like turn facing Ravani, like, really? Just like just switch
Yeah.
parties. Like, please explain.
I will say roll for deception check because you guys came in at the same time as a small group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She definitely saw you, just never really know who you are, so this will be easy. And yeah.
A 19.
Okay. So
But it's purely in the action. I didn't say anything. I'm just like,
yeah, I know. But
yeah.
let's see. Okay. She looks inside and says, she looks at you, Viking, right now, and just says, "So, you look like you're also a man of faith, and I trust that you wouldn't allow this person of interest get away with what her friend did, right? Can you help me apprehend her at this point?"
Her?
Yeah.
This small child. Are you serious?
Small or not, she just admitted she's knew this Tali person, and
I didn't hear that.
you were right. Okay.
No.
All right, you were right next to her, so
Yeah, but she did not say. I didn't hear her say that. Are you sure you're feeling okay? Have you had too much wine?
Okay.
She
just looks at you and says, "I haven't touched a single drop. I mean, how could you say this? Are you willing to help or not?" And she kind of raised her voice at this point. It kind of draws a few attention. Not something
Where
severe,
am I in
but
this shot?
I want to sort of like say like I'm sort of like realizing that I shouldn't have said what I just said, so I'm trying to like backpedal, saying like, I mean, I've been with her for most of the time I've been here at the party.
You've been with her the most of your time? I'm calling the guards. She kind of looks. She kind of looks.
Where
at
am
you
I in
and
this shot?
I'm like, whoa. You need to calm down, madam. I think it's a woman, right?
Yeah. It's a she.
I think you're a little mistaken here, because you're hearing things that are.
She just admitted right in front of you, and as she says that,
Yes, I heard what she said, and she said she spent time with her at the party, just like you're mingling with us right now. I'm not holding that against you.
First of all, roll for deception with disadvantage.
Can I?
19.
Oh,
Okay. Okay.
I'm just sort of like nodding my head like furiously in agreement.
You're pretty. You should know by now. I'm a pretty good. Was it silver-tongued devil? Bullshitting my way through situations.
She's got advantage. All right. We'll put that aside because right now, Tali, as you roll for this perception check, and you do find like a small, kind of a sideways to the way where the waiter and waitress came out. However, it looks deeper into the palace instead of the other way around. As you can see, because you guys are went in from the guest entrance, and you can tell that in order to get to the kind of like a maintenance hall or like the servants hall, you'll need to dart deeper inside.
All right. I'm going to look at it and weigh it up. Too much unknown. I'm going to take my chances in the garden.
Okay. All right. Roll me a stealth check with disadvantage because it's like really crowded, and you didn't
and I'm
dress
in a formal
like
gown.
a waiter at this point. All right. You blend in with like, although it's really hard, you manage to blend in, like dart around, like, you know, the blind spot of people and just kind of carefully evade their sights, even though you're in a crowded place. You manage to get really close to the entrance, and then that's when you all hear the queen just kind of says, "That's it. Guards, please escort Commander Knox to his chamber. We'll talk about this later." And right now, for those of you who needs the information, she kind of do this like chanting, like a small chanting, and like with a wave of her hand, you can see the image of Tali as presented right inside the hall in front of, well, the well-rounded guest. And she just says, "I want her, dead or alive, for what she has done to my family. If you want further proof," and she kind of like put her hand on the side, and you guys see with two servants by the side, a hooded figure being escorted inside to the banquet. And she just kind of gently puts her hand on the hooded figure's cheek, and then just unhood her. And you guys all saw Alethea at this point standing there, like as if she's in like grave pain or just shock. Like she couldn't even like look straight to anyone inside. And the queen just continues saying, "Look what she done to my precious daughter." And then she just like kind of gently walk her to the front and just says, tell them what she has done to you." And then you all heard Alethea saying, "She stabbed my father right when they introduced themselves." Like every word coming out of her mouth is like a really struggled voice, and it feels like kind of disconnected though.
Can I make an insight or arcana check against this?
Okay, yeah, you certainly can. Everyone roll for insight or arcana. It's your pick.
Oh,
I know Ali. This doesn't sound like her.
So, Rivani, you think that, like, Rivani and Viking, you both think that Alethea is, like, in genuine pain and shock, and she probably believed every word she said. Tali, you feel this slight kind of imbalance, like just the smallest detail that feels off. It doesn't really set you on an alarm, but it feels like there's something wrong with her. Like there's something not really the Tali, the Alethea you know, because you know her really well. You know you guys grow up together. You know every little details, every little moves she make and habits. Just something is off, but you can't really tell for sure. You just know something is off. Yeah. And like Alethea seems like really out of breath, and when she's like done, like she just couldn't talk anymore. It feels like she's got choked or something. And then the queen just said, "Rest, my dear," and then just kind of motioned the servants to gently lift Alethea back inside, and the queen just says, "Not only her, not only my daughter, but also her mentor, was brutally murdered during this crime. And then she started kind of weeping at this point, just like gently sob a little bit, and then she kind of gets a hold of herself, managed to pick up her voice, and just says, "Please, help me find her. I beg of you, all of you." And then she kind of like do a gesture to the crowd, and then just kind of leave the site. Kind of gently leave the site. Yep.
I side whispered to Viking like, I'm not the one who thought Althea didn't look right, right?
Well,
not just me?
actually, you two feel like it's her. She doesn't feel well. That's it. It looks like she's
and
in
this
shock.
took place up here, right?
For two of you. Yes. It took place near the center of the banquet.
Okay. And we're down here, and
Yes. You guys are down.
who is it that is talking? Like, I don't see
Naira is
Rivani.
right here.
Okay, so I'd be like right here.
Yes, you guys were talking with Rivani as well. Actually, sorry about that. Rivani, you were escorted out during the time, and then I never really put your token back.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. You'll be back right in a second. As well as Frederick. All right. All right.
So,
you guys are having conversation. Frederick is actually, well, roll me perception check to see if you.
Oh no,
notice where he
Frederick
is.
is talking about the vineyard. Oh, let's see.
18.
18. Nice. You notice that Frederick is kind of shadowing Tali, kind of help her avoid the sight. Both of you notice that. Yeah. Tali, you
Yeah, I see him
definitely
clear
know
as
that
day.
because there's a few times you were so close getting caught, and then the guest kind of like just in time managed to turn around and you kind of avoid it. So yeah.
So,
You kind of noticed that.
Naira.
Yeah.
Do I think she's gonna call the guards still, or have we talked her
Roll
down?
me your insight check with disadvantage. Well, with advantage actually. Roll me an insight check with advantage.
19.
Yeah. She's definitely gonna call the guards. At this point, she feels like
I got a plan.
you
I'm
guys
like-
are trying to cover up. So
You look at-
yeah.
Ravani should see the fucking scheming in my eyes. So I'm gonna cast command on Naira.
Okay. So you.
It's
put
a wisdom save.
Yeah, you kind of closing in on Naira and just kind of like. So just kind of trying to continue to talk her down, but immediately you cast command, and yeah, wisdom save, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, +4. What's your spell save DC?
14.
She rolled a 13.
Okay.
Just on the brim. I was like,
Yeah.
it could be a little bit better, but all right.
So the word I'm telling her
Okay.
is undress.
All right. So.
And I'm like, when I see her starting to undress, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, oh my god, she's crazy. Like I'm totally playing it up now that she's gone, she lost her shit.
Okay.
And I'm like, I start backing away, like grabbing Ravani.
Right.
When I'm like, what is wrong with you? And I'm making a big scene that she's starting to undress in the middle of the party.
She starting to like unbutton herself, and then like you just yell out, what are you doing? And trying to make a
What
scene.
is your problem?
Yeah, and then the guest around her just kind of looks at her and just like, there's this gentleman just on the side just says, are you alright, Naira? And just like kind of try to stop her from doing that. And she, command, how long does it last though? 1 round? Okay.
1 round.
All right, that means 6 seconds. So you guys got 6 seconds to dart off.
Yeah, I just sort of start like speed walking as far away from the scene as possible.
6 seconds.
While
that means 1 round of movement. You guys can move about 60 feet. If no, actually, Viking, because you already cast a spell, I would say you can only move 30 feet.
That's fine, but I'm basically using her as a distraction
I know.
and
she's
putting
now the center of
seeding
attention.
doubt in anything she says right now.
Yeah. So she's now on the center of the attention, and then as Ravani, you run a little bit faster. As of now, you can hear Naira started like.
More of a.
What? No, he casted a spell on me.
She's drunk.
They are
Somebody
with
stop
her. They're with her.
You
Guards!
psychopath.
And then
She tried to pull a blade on me, and I'm like just totally.
Yeah, totally talking and then walking away. The guests are still around her and saying, "You sure you're all right? I mean, we can if it's the weather, you are under the weather, we can escort you." And then she just pushed the gentleman aside, says, "No, it's them." And then she's gonna. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. All right. All right. Viking, you feel this compulsion inside your body telling you to stop right now, to obey right now. Roll me a wisdom save as well.
That is 19.
19. All right. You manage to shrug off the compulsion because it's like just a slight bit. You almost feel like submissive to the command, but you know this is neither the right time nor place. Yeah, to play.
I yell out. I'm like, that psychopath. She's trying to control my mind. Stop her, crazy witch.
Right. So the people around her are kind of stepping back at this point, and then you see two of like ranger dressing kind of personnel kind of showed up right behind Naira, and they were like, Lady Naira, are you all right? Are you feeling okay? And if you're not really feeling well, we can help you to find a room to rest. There's no need to cause a scene. And then at this moment, as they're talking, Viking, you can move up to another 15 feet actually, and Rainy, you can move as far as you want actually at this point. About 60 feet if you just speed walking without doing any actions. So yeah.
Keep that psychopath away from me. She has no right.
Yeah, I know.
take it as an attack on my honor.
The guards, the guests around you are actually making a way for you. Like, but at this moment, you kind of make yourself quite noticeable, actually, and at the same time, Tali, you managed to get close enough to the server's entrance. What would you like to do?
Excellent. Was this when I saw Alethea escorted out? Did she go past here, or do I have enough of like an understanding to know that this would probably connect to where she went?
Hold on. Let's see. Roll me an intelligence check, just a straight intelligence check, to see if you can sort of, because you kind of know her, but you don't know the surroundings. All right.
Yeah, and I'm desperately worried about her now.
Yeah. So the best you can think of, combined by your knowledge that Lavinia taught you in the past about scouting and survey the house, you managed to pick up that this will probably lead to a separate servants hallway, and then leads to probably their where they sleep and undress. Well, For Alethea and the Queen, they'll probably take another entrance into the palace, like deeper.
But could I intercept them at some point? You reckon? Yes.
This hallway, you're not sure. You can take further walk to see if you can pick up any signs that suggest you'll be able to intercept her. But for now, you're not.
Yeah, I'm worried.
Sure.
I'm gonna try my luck. Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it.
So you're gonna go in. As you're walking into the servants' hall, you heard a voice on your side. It's Frederick saying, "That's smart, girl. I don't think.
This is a gamble.
That she's gonna be fine." And he kind of looks nervous at this point.
I'm gonna stop
kind of
when we've got when we've got somewhere quiet that I'm not seeing anyone. I'm just gonna stop. I'm just gonna hug him.
Yeah. He's at first he's kind of shocked, and then he kind of understand and kind of gently pat you on the back, and then just says, "Don't worry, girl. Lavinia is definitely tougher than anyone I've never known. She's probably somewhere else. She's probably somewhere else safe. It just doesn't feel right. I don't know the girl, the daughter of the Queen. I don't know Alethea really well. But if there's one thing I know, it's that Lavinia was always gonna fight till the very end, and she always has an out. That's just the rogue inside her.
Always have an exit. Rule number 1. Always have an exit strategy.
So, what's our plan here? I mean, you walk down the servants' hall. You definitely have a plan, right?
Yeah, we have 2 choices. We can leave, or now that I'm really desperately worried, find Alethea. There's something wrong. 1, she can claim me because I didn't do this. She knows that. So why is she saying otherwise?
There's multiple ways that could happen. Maybe she's under spell. Maybe she's I don't know. Maybe she's generally seeing something that probably dressed like you or imposed like you. I mean, even just me, I can think of a dozen of ways that mislead just people into believing something. That's our way of living. So, have you ever... Well, I know you guys rob off Tyrone the wrong way, but have you ever encountered the Thieves Guild in this city? I mean, did you kind of made a deal with them but not fulfill the contract, or did you cross their path in the wrong way? Did you ever... I
haven't exactly had time. I've been I can barely breathe at the moment.
I know.
How do they expect me to fulfill a contract when I'm almost dead at every turn?
Yeah. All right. If you never came across anything like this, then
There's only
something
one.
bigger in
There
play.
was
There's
there was
something bigger in
someone
play.
back in the other plane who used another person's face and tried to murder me. I mean, this is a common thread now, but it is something I have seen. And if someone tried to use my face to kill my family,
He kind of thinks for a second and asks you to describe further the details. You guys are standing on the side of the hallway in the darkness and like kind of having small talk. I will switch back to Viking and Ravani. At this point, you guys are swimming through. Well, not swimming through because the crowd actually make a path for you, Viking, because you look you look tall. You are like well dressed, and then yeah, I mean, yeah. So
I'm yelling, just like psychopath.
Yeah, get her. Yeah, sort of stuff like that. The guards are actually also being really careful, trying to talk her down. But at this point, she's like saying, "It's not me you want. It's him. It's him and the girl in the front. She claims she know who Tali is. You guys should get her." Right
Was
now.
that before or after you started undressing? You psychopath!
Okay. At this point, there are two guards in the opposite side, actually walking to you and to both of you, actually, Viking and Ravani, and they're not really like holding up any weapons. They're just like, "Sir, miss, I would like to ask you to kind of stop." And I'm sure Lady Nara is just probably under the weather or something, and then
yeah. I'll come over here and get close. I'm like, I just need to get away from that psychopath. She tried to use witchcraft on me, and you know what? My mind is my own, and I'm sorry, but that's a violation. She should be not allowed in public.
Don't worry, sir.
You know what? I have no problem going with you, but let's just get away from her because I have no interest. Who knows what she's going to do? She'll bring down the wrath of Merkel on us if we're not careful.
All right.
Just like
the guard seems a little bit confused of this Merkel you were saying, but like they're saying, I'm sure Lady Naira has a good reason of doing such things. She might be just under the weather. Don't worry. Don't worry.
No good reason.
Don't worry. Please come with us, and we'll provide separate room with you, and we'll definitely figure this out. And then
let's go.
He just kind of leads the way, and then
I'm not gonna resist or anything.
Yeah. So you guys kind of walk and out of the place. You can still hear Naira just cursing and swearing and just kind of but as a woman of class, she's not really good at cursing, so her words is just plain and just like the wrath of Lathander will condemn you and stuff like that. Just plain old cleric talk. And then you guys were like sorry, this is out of the picture, so I'm just gonna describe the image for you. So you guys were led into like a smaller chamber on the side. It looks like a kind of a outpost for guards to stand guard and having temporary rest and then just change shift and stuff like that. And then the guard just kind of sits you down and says,
so wait, before we hit this room, how far away are we from?
You guys walk about a longer distance of 60 feet or something.
Are we away from like the rest of the crowd?
Definitely, you're away. You kind of left the huge hallway on the front entrance and lead into somewhere inside the garden, actually.
Okay. And are we high up here? Is this like
you are like, this is like well, these are not really high platforms. You guys are actually walking downwards. So when you guys enter this banquet location, you guys are actually walking up. And then as you're leaving right now, you guys are walking downwards. So yeah, they're like up high a little bit, like a higher platform on the top.
Okay.
So yeah, you guys are actually being led by the guards and walking slightly downwards, about 5 feet difference or 10 feet maybe.
And we're free will, right? Like
Yeah,
we're not chased.
you guys.
or anything.
There's
Right.
no one else around you besides the guards and the garden, of course. So
Okay.
you are walking right inside the garden.
And as we're saying this, I'm like, I thank you guys for getting us away from that crazy woman. I don't know what's gotten into her. I fear maybe she might be something may have touched her in the head. If
I mean, this
does she
really,
go around normally attacking people?
No,
Like,
I mean, Lady Nara has always been a genuine soul, and she never done something so well. Indecent.
I think maybe
in the
she should be
public.
seen by the healers.
She is the
I thank
healer,
you.
in fact. I mean,
Who heals the healer?
yeah, maybe that's what we should think about. But, sirs, I mean, we can provide other assistance, but I'm sorry I have to ask you to stay here, and until we know the further of her condition, I mean, we just want to be safe, making sure that what happened to her doesn't happen to anyone else, because at this moment, it's kind of bizarre. She wouldn't behave this way normally.
And I
Right.
really don't understand her. Like, my this young lady here, and I won't actually say she's my companion. All she said was, we were in the party here, and she had an opportunity to speak with this miscreant that the
What?
queen was talking about. Yeah, she was here, and then Naira like lost it, saying she was her companion and traveling with her and stuff like that. She's lost it. Like, it makes no sense. And no matter, there was no way to rationalize it with her.
Roll me deception check. You don't have disadvantage because the guard doesn't really know. Okay.
22.
22. Nice. So the guard kind of nods and says, she may be a little bit hesitant. Well, she may like be shocked by the news and kind of jumped the moment she heard of it. But thanks for the information. Where did you say you saw? Actually, in that case, the guard kind of reached in towards you and then just says, just getting close in towards you and just says, just come with us and talk to the queen. I mean, as you heard, just the information alone can get you 5,000 grand. I mean, of course, I know you're a little bit hesitant because of the Lady Naira, what happened. But if you really, and your is this lady your companion, or he like points his hand towards Ruvani. Is this lady your companion, or?
No, I only seen her for the around town.
All right,
and we kind of mingled a little bit here, and everything I'm saying is technically not a lie.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like,
yeah, it's true.
I offered a drink to this young lady. She's way too young for my liking. I prefer a much more seasoned veteran for conversation, if you know what I mean.
He gives this I know you look kind of smile, and then just turns to Ruvani and saying, if that's the case, miss, why don't you come with us? The gentleman can stay here, of course, and the queen can talk to you further inside. I mean, as you heard, any little bit would help.
As a chivalrous man, Azamar, I'm concerned about her well-being with Naira attacking and lashing out.
Don't worry about that, sir.
Sorry.
Lady Naira
go
has
ahead.
been escorted towards the Lathander's temple, and she will be well rested and checked by the high priest there. So Bishop Lorenzo is really well known for treating kind of different conditions. So I'm sure she'll be safe. But please, how do I refer you, lady? And the guard kind of turns towards you.
I take a sort of deep breath and I sort of gently try to push Viking aside a little bit and I sort of step forward and reply, my name is Ravani, sir, Ravani Mycroft, and
All right.
and if speaking to the Queen will help, help sort this thing out, then I'll do it.
I'm pretty sure it will. I mean, Lady Mycroft, please follow us. And you notice that he waved, the guard that was talking to you guys waved to his companion and says, Aaron, keep this gentleman here until I return. I mean, sir will provide you the best drink and everything you'll possibly need, and until we figure things out. And again, we apologize for Lady Naira. She normally doesn't behave this way, and
so
I'm pretty sure
before Ravani leaves, I offer my hand. I'm like, it was a pleasure meeting you, young lady, and I hold out my hand to do the chivalrous thing, which you should know of who I am. That means absolutely fuck all.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
I respond awkwardly, try to pretend I don't know you. But it was nice meeting you too.
Do you give me your hand though?
Well,
I'm trying to kiss your hand as a old chivalry time shit.
Sure. Yeah, but yeah.
So I'm gonna do this, which is probably bad, but I'm trying to palm the Eye of Primordial to Ravani, which is the sending stone.
I know. The guards look at you, and your finger touch Ravani's finger, but because you're really rusty and never really received any proper trainings in the chivalry stuff, and you're also doing sleight of hand, you manage to drop. Yeah, you kind of drop the.
It wasn't a one. A one would be dropping it. They should. It's whether or not they see it.
Drop. More like you drop. Sorry, poor choice of word. More like you drop into Ravani's sleeves, but you didn't expect how thin the sleeves are gonna be. Like normally when you put it into someone's pouch or something, you would just there's a bump right underneath Ravani's sleeves, sort of like that.
Do they see it? Do they?
They definitely
obviously
see it. They're like.
I'm like, here,
okay,
a token
sir.
of my appreciation. Maybe I apologize for this crazy evening, and I hope that a gift from Sune, I'm just throwing a god out there, will brighten up your day, and and that's why it was kind of awkwardly handed to her.
All right. Roll me a persuasion check. Okay. All right. I can't really roll tonight.
I'm like,
yeah. So the guards were like,
all right, to fumble fumbling it to you, but I'm not used to wearing such dainty gloves in my line of work.
The guards you were talking about, seasoned veterans. On your woman's choice, when you were saying before, kind of looks at you and just says, huh, looks like we're not the same after all. Yeah. And the other guy just like, all right, give the man a break. He's been through a lot. Let's just take the fine lady inside, and I'm sure we can find you something to eat and drink and give you some well-deserved rest where we wait for the result. And yeah.
So you now have the Eye of Primordial
Yeah.
Stone,
Yep.
and Tali
Yeah,
has
I'll sort of like say like
Oh,
thank
yeah.
you, and then I'll sort of try to like subtly like store it away in a
You
pocket
don't
somewhere.
need to subtly steal it. It's like the guards will
Yeah.
see it, so it's fine. You can just
Yeah.
put it on.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So.
And I'm like trying the very best I can to maintain like a good poker face, even though I'm like sweating bullets inside.
All right. Just for shit and giggles, roll me a performance check to maintain poker face.
Oh crap!
You're slightly nervous.
you're
so
falling head over
slightly,
heels for me.
yeah, so slightly nervous that the guards were saying, "Don't worry, Lady Mycroft. I mean, the queen is actually pretty generous to her like subjects, and she's usually the one being the kind-hearted one. So there's nothing you need to worry about. Just tell her the information you know about this like regicide you saw at the party, and then you will be well rewarded and be on your way. So there's nothing to be worried about. By the way, if I may, do you have any relationship with one Rosemary Minecraft? I mean, I know it's probably a bit stretch, but she's this founding member of the cities of Arcadia. I mean, with that name, I know it's probably a common question being asked, but I just couldn't help but wonders.
Yeah, I sort of like I perk up having with him having mentioned that, and I sort of say, yes, she's actually my mom, but
Really?
but the thing, but she wasn't really she wasn't really around when I was when I was for it wasn't really around by
Okay.
I she uh she she died shortly after I was born, actually.
She died? The guards kind of looks at you, kind of, and then just says, this is quite a lot to take in. I mean, I was thinking you may be her niece or nephew since the Mycroft family still stands. I mean, it just, I never expected to hear that you're actually one of, like, just her offspring, because, well, we don't really know, but we never saw her with anyone else. But, and as for dying, I mean, we all thought she just went on a trip. I mean, she never, for sure, she never returned, and by human standard, she would probably be long gone by now. But I mean, she's a powerful sorcerer. Who knows? I mean, but if you have the chance, maybe you can go check the Mycroft family. I mean, if you are her, well, offspring, you could certainly meet someone there. I mean, you don't look like you're directly from the House of Mycroft. Am I right?
Well, honestly, there's not a whole lot there's still not a whole lot much I know about mom, but I know I was born back in Faerun. So
the
obviously
far away plane. Okay. That's
yeah, so obviously she must have stayed there for a while.
That's
And she obviously was, and she was with she honestly was with my dad. I sort of say dad like hesitantly,
Mm-hmm.
given my backstory, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
All right. So as you guys are talking, like he's kind of pointing you the direction of the House of Mycroft, in the city, and then that's switched to Tali at this moment. Tali, you were having a heated conversation with Frederick at this point. Frederick, hearing your plan, suggested that you guys like find someone that can really know the in and out of the palace before we rush in. But I mean,
Yep.
you were probably like
No, that was
So,
my
yeah.
idea as well, to find a servant that didn't
Okay.
quite trust the queen.
okay. So yeah, you guys discussed for a little bit, and then what would you like to do at this point?
Jeez, just I
Just find
guess
someone,
listen out.
grab someone, and knock him out. Frederick was like,
No, not knock them out. More like, oh my god, can you help me? I'm so terribly lost.
Maybe. You guys look around for a little bit. Roll me a perception check to see if you can find a single servant without anyone around him and just stop him. Yeah. All right. You find a dozen of the fitted servants that they're all sitting separately, and at this part you were on a small hallway leading inner to a dead end. On both sides of the dead end, left and right, you can see small like I said, kind of like conjoined rest place. So people will just go in there and change and probably just talk and rest. However, you do see on the left side, near the place where there's another entrance that seems leading directly into a kitchen place, maybe, because you can see fire within, fire within the stove, and there's sounds of making the dishes. And you see one, young gentleman, like about his 20 or something. He's still just hit puberty probably, and then he's like kind of sitting there, like really just tending to his clothes and just making sure he's well dressed. You see he's really firm of cleaning the spot clean, because there seems to be one spot that's been like stained by the dishes, and he's like trying to rub it off and make it really clean. What would you like to do?
If there's no one else around, I'm gonna walk up to him and go, I'm so sorry to disturb you. I realize this is, oh darling, it's all right.
I'm not taking a break. I mean, I am
It's okay,
just cleaning
it's
this
okay,
off.
Mom.
And okay. So, lady, what can I help you with? I mean, if there's anything I can help, I can definitely help. Just please don't tell the chef. I mean,
Of
I will
course
be
not.
putting all the dishes right in the moment.
Darling, it's quite all right. I'll give you a tip. I'm awfully lost. You see, I was at the banquet,
We can't
and
accept
I
tips.
had.
I mean, this is royal palace after all, not some random roadside restaurant. I mean,
Yes, but I'm making you go way out of your way. This isn't your missive. I'd incredibly appreciate it. I have a gift for Princess Alicia for her return. It's so exciting. I meant to give it to her at the banquet, and oh gosh, it's awful. But I was hoping you'd help me find her and give it to her.
We can certainly. He thinks for a moment. He just looks and thinks for a moment, and just kind of looking inside the kitchen, and just look inside, and you can hear just people just yelling inside, saying some like the fish probably should be served, and where's the goddamn servants, and then why aren't there enough bubblies in the bottle, and just a lot of stuff that's happening, chaos. And then you heard the boy just kind of like, well, the chef he doesn't seem like he's paying any attention. I mean, can you who
I
are
can help
you,
you with
lady?
the course.
I mean I can't really bring anyone just inside. I mean, there's a lot of guards. I mean, maybe talk to one of the guards. I mean,
I'd hate to trouble them. They're all so busy. What with all this
me too.
terrible news.
I always get really nervous when I'm around him. I mean, the guards right there. They're so terrifying. I mean, I'm just a normal farm boy.
I would never have known it. You seem so confident to me.
Really?
Really, dear.
Okay. I think that's what Pa used to say. Being confident, and then people will, respect you. And thank you, lady. And
So good.
well, for now. So what would you want me to do? I mean, do you want me to take you inside? I mean, but
Yes, I'd love an escort. I'm afraid I'm dreadfully lost here.
but that's against the rules. I mean,
Surely the princess needs something to brighten her day. She's already had such a terrible one. It's just a small thing.
well, yes. I mean, though she's not like two of her sisters, but I haven't seen her really often. But she seems like a nice person. Well, roll me a persuasion check at this point.
Oh, God.
You have advantage.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus.
I really can't roll today. What the hell is happening?
Frankie.
Anyway, yeah, the boy
Oh,
seems
wow.
sold on the idea. I rolled a 4. I rolled 2 4s in the same row. I mean, I just don't understand.
I've cursed you, I'm sorry.
But anyway, the boy just like, okay. I mean, so I guess I can, Ben, just please don't tell the chef. I mean,
Of course not, dear heart. What's your name?
just Rob. I mean, it's not. I'm not really like
Rob,
well
lovely to meet you.
Just normal Rob. Well,
Yeah,
that's fine.
not well known yet.
Okay. So, your name, miss? I mean,
Thea.
what?
Thea.
Thea. Okay.
Mhm.
Lady Thea. Okay. And this is the moment where Frederick kind of pops his head like on the side, saying, "Should we go now?" The boy just kind of looks like, so you also work here? Do you also work here too? I mean, the boy, Frederick just kind of looks at him and says, "No, I'm with her. Well, I'm her escort." The boy kind of looks at Frederick, if for lack of better word, respect. Like the boy just kind of like, ooh. So okay. So your name, sir? Just call me Fred. Yes, sir. Sir Fred. It's nice to know you, sir. Okay. So, you know what? Let's do it outside. He kind of walks you guys out and right into kind of on the opposite side, and then just says, "Well, there are a number of ways you can sneak in to the palace. I don't normally do this, for the record. I just the apple just looks really good sometimes, and if you go over the fence right over there, as you can see, there's like a hinge of some sort on the top side, and then you can see the boy really he probably done this more than he claimed. And then he just walked near the wall. The wall is like covered in foliage and like leaves and that kind of well-grown natural kind of leaf wall. And then you see him reach inside, and just at the like upper left point, and you see kind of like a vine getting like pulled out, and then you see him just starting to like climb a little bit upwards, and then just saying, when he reached the top, he just turns around and says, so just take the vine. The vine's really steady, so there's no worry about breaking it. It's totally fine. But we need to keep quiet. That's all. We need to keep quiet. And then he just leaps off the wall. What would you like to do?
Follow suit.
Okay. You kind of grab onto the vine. The vine is as steady as the boy claimed, and you just like climb up with ease. You don't even need to roll for acrobatics. With that kind of stuff, you're born to do this. you flip onto the other side. You find yourself now in the maze again. Actually, I'm gonna switch you guys into the maze. However, this looks slightly different.
Oh boy.
Yeah. You were on the side where the first entrance is like kind of near here. You were here. Sorry. You guys can temporarily disappear because you don't belong here at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys were from here. You guys entered from here. You see from the kitchen side, you kind of leap off from here. Just from the side of the wall and just leaps in. From the side, you can't even see it on a map. It's like leap from the side of the wall, and then the boy is kind of actually taking you. If you look at the bottom part, he is actually taking you guys through this direction, and then kind of go through here. This kind of this direction. Yeah. And then along the way, the boy just kind of talks about how well the sovereign family are, like they're about the best person like you could imagine in the world, and how he help feed the poor, and the queen usually offers them treats, and like being really gentle, and never really asks them to do night chores, so stuff like that. Yeah. And yeah, you guys took about 10 minutes walk. Just the map is just for like support. You can ignore that completely right now, because yeah, this is somewhere I can't really find a fittable situation, so we'll just roll with it. So you guys roll, just kind of follow the kid and reach somewhere near. It doesn't really look like a palace for starters. It looks like a quiet kind of like a I can't say, like a firm stone structure, but like so well balanced inside the forest that you can't really tell the difference between whether it's which part is like manufactured, which part is crafted, or which part is naturally grown. It's just everything's so well balanced here. So you walk near it. The place is about like 60 feet wide, and it just not really the huge palace you expected, but everything inside seems to be wide open. Like, so the door is not locked. There's no hinges on the door, and unlike the human palace, there will be a like huge stone or iron gate. There's just a small wooden like door that leads inside, and then the boy just kind of wave you guys forward, and then you see the boy kind of darts around the side of the wall, and the side of the wall there are like glasses that are really tall, like the kind of tall glasses, painted glasses you see in churches. And then he kind of leads you guys to the side, and then just points at the top point and says, if we entered from there, we can lead into the area that the princess where they live. So well, I guess we can climb. Can you guys climb? I mean, you can, right? Just hold on for a second. And then he just quickly walks toward the side and like kind of reach into part of the stone. It's really amazing though, because he just put his hand inside the stone, and then just went right through the stone. And then you see him pull out some of a small like a hook or something, and he's just like, oh well, I happened to came across this a while ago. I mean, you see, this is not really a stone. This is actually like sort of an illusion. And I don't know who put it there, but yeah, someone's really, really smart. And yeah, I wish I could be like
Tali's paying rapt attention and looking to see if there's any markings around it that she recognizes.
Okay, so you look around. You see one specific marking that piques your attention. It's a marking of a raven. That is also something Alethea has shown you when he first revealed like his true identity of being the Blackfeather family. So yeah, the Raven. Hold on. I actually do have the Raven sign. Raven. Yep. Here. It looks like this. It looks like this. It's a small raven in crescent, like in a small circle and like square. So yeah, looks exactly like this. All right. Beyond that, you also see like I said, it looks exactly like this. So you see the spark inside the raven's eyes. You're not exactly sure what it does, but it's just there. It doesn't spark up the moment you came up. It's like it's always there, kind of like a permanent, like eternal fire or something like that. Yeah, it just stays there. Beyond that, the whole building itself, it's actually quite simple. You don't really find any like significant details like a royal palace. Like I said, it feels like everything's so harmonious. Yeah, and well balanced. Yeah. So, as the boy, Rob, is trying really hard to throw the hook up into the, well, top of the palace, let's switch back to Viking and Ruveni. Yeah, so I'll start with Viking actually. Viking, what are you doing inside the small outpost with the guard? Are you like having small talk? What are you doing?
Is he like intently watching me, or
no, he's actually
is he going about his business?
He's mostly going on about his own business. He just occasionally talk to you, like share a little bit details about which guest is obnoxious, who brings the best date to the banquet, and then whose daughter is sleeping with which captain or whatever. Yeah, so a lot of stuff, like juicy details. He also asks you a lot of questions. So roll me a 1d8. Yeah. You kind of share some small talk with him. He doesn't seem like this, like pokey type. He doesn't seem like he's prying or anything. So you kind of feel willing to share with him. But you're pretty smart enough to not reveal any sort of details or slip that you are with Tali. So yeah.
No, I would focus on more like the Commander Knox. Be like, how is he to work for? And I've had a few drinks with him, and blah blah blah. Like that kind of socialish kind of stuff.
The guard kind of looks up to you and just kind of says, "Really, you had a drink with Commander Knox? He's quite a legend around here. I mean, well, definitely there's no one that can compare to the sovereigns. However, Commander Knox, if anyone is coming close, it's gotta be Commander Knox and his team. I mean, he partnered with Bishop, the Bishop Lorenzo. He is really good at what he does. That is also why he's selected to be the city's guard. Like though not the Bastion. The Bastion is kind of different. They are more like the troops that actually deployed when we're in imminent threats. And Commander Knox is just doing well enough to keep the city in check, which is really hard when you got a bunch of gnomes that's trying to craft new stuff all the time and blowing up half the city blocks. Just
yes, yeah. They're shady gnomes.
Well, I wouldn't say shady, but they're crazy inventors that doesn't really care about who or what they heard, as long as they have something they invented, which is. Yeah.
When I reiterate, I'm like crazy as in they're always trying to one up one another, and they're all about who can have the bigger explosion at the end of the day, rather than
yeah,
public
bigger
safety.
explosion or bigger fame, or like, even if that means occasionally blowing up a few customers, or stuff like that. Mm.
I know Lorenzo is like the only other really big healer.
Yeah,
right.
He's about, judging by the guard's speech, he's about the like top person you would go to if there's really like some severe thing that happens. For example, the guard is actually talking about the possibility of the bishop reviving Sovereign Blackfeather. For what he speaks, Bishop Lorenzo is kind of like a channel of Lathander, so like the most direct kind. So yeah, he has the power. He has the power to do that, but it's just a matter of, do they recover the body yet? That's the whole important thing of the revive ritual.
I was wondering that, because I do know it takes quite a bit of resources.
Yeah.
To bring back the dead,
mm-hmm.
But why? I'm sure the king, has those resources at his disposal. And like,
I wouldn't say no. The guard kind of responds and just says, it's just, you know how these rituals work, as you are one of the servants of a deity unknown to us, because you were trying to talk to him about
Sune.
Mirko,
yeah,
Sune or whatever. Yeah,
Sune was who I was.
Yeah, you said you were a knight of Sune, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually,
it was the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, there's actually a temple of Sune right here. So looks what
I was name dropping when it comes to deity.
True. And then,
but I figured deities also cross planes, right?
Yeah, true. And you are actually right, because there's actually a temple of Sune right here in the city. The guard gives you a look that man would understand, and just goes on to explain and just says, you were a follower of Sune. Though she doesn't really she doesn't really focus on that domain, but you would have heard that it's really an daunting task, because you would have to have the body parts, right, like intact. That's usually how most rituals that of resurrection works. The thing is, they can never really find the sovereign and his daughter's bodies. That's the thing. It's like
it gets more complicated.
Yes.
Without the proper resources,
True.
Let's say, and life and death are at constant struggle with one another. So it's I completely understand.
Yeah, and agree with you.
I'm like, as we're talking, I'm like, oh, my head is like killing me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally playing up that she like mind fucked me.
Yeah.
And then when he's not looking, I'm like, oh, is that a map of the city or something? Like, I totally try and distract him for a moment.
Yeah. Okay.
And
the guard kind of looks at you and just looks at the map and just says, oh, yeah, that's just nothing big deal. It's just a city map. Just making sure everyone's on the street is safe. Like, we need to escort the sovereign to several places, so we need to be sure. And he actually hands you a bottle. Like, he pulls under his desk and hands you a bottle. It's like, I know it's probably not the fine taste you usually had, but try this.
Does he give me a glass, or is it just straight out of the bottle?
He gives you a straight up bottle with a small glass. Just hand it over to you.
I'm like, it's never good to drink alone, and I know I'm not going to tell anybody if you don't, and I'm like, care to join me?
Yeah, he's like kind of smiles, and you see, at first you only see one glasses, but that's actually two glasses side by side. He's like,
Yeah,
way ahead
I'll
of you.
pour 2 glasses. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like yeah, and then he pours the drink for you. Uh, the wine, it feels like fruity, like kind of a mixture of like fruit, wine, and it's kind of sour sweet a little bit, but it's like have a strong kick afterwards. So yeah, if a first few like sip, it feels really good. It's not a high end drink, but it feels really good.
I'm like, oh, I think this might be helping with the excruciating pain I have in my head. I don't know what Naira did, but oh, my head is just splitting.
Okay. Aren't you a follower of Sune yourself? Can't you just try to, I'm not a arcane user, but I know there are some other way to ease the pain. I mean, especially for Sune. I mean, she's well known for love and peace and all stuff like that. And well, not really peace, but more like love and tender. And there's got to be something.
And I'm gonna bluff my way through this. I'm like, yes, of course, she's the goddess of life.
Mm-hmm.
And is it life or love?
Love.
Life. I thought she was life too.
Life.
Anyways,
like part of it, because love comes making of it, and then comes life. So it's like crossing a little bit over.
I tell her, I tell him, I'm like, it's easy to mend the wounds of flesh because they're straightforward and easily dealt with. But it's the unknown that we struggle with.
Mm-hmm.
Put a drop of poison on a blade, and it becomes far more difficult to cure. Assault the senses, and it's almost impossible to know, or impossible to discern what was done or fix what was done to myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's much easier to do it on someone else rather than fix myself.
Probably you're right.
So when he's not looking,
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna cut my hand. I'm gonna reach into my robe, and I'm gonna cut my hand on a dagger.
Roll me a sleight of hand with advantage, because it's like, yeah, he's not really paying attention of what you're doing. Okay.
It's a 13.
He's like, are you all right? Your eyebrows twitched a little bit. Is everything okay?
When he says that, I go like this, and I touch my ear,
mm-hmm.
and I come up, and there's
your hand.
blood.
There's a drop of blood on your hand.
I think it's coming from my head. I know she didn't physically assault me, but my head is just killing me. Maybe I don't want to go anywhere near Naira, but is there any chance that you could bring me to Bishop Lorenzo, and he could possibly aid my? I'm fear that I could just deteriorate.
The temple is on the. You sure you want to go there? I mean, we got healers right here. We can help mend whatever situation you got going on. But this looks serious. I mean, he kind of walks forward and try to examine the wound. He's like, "May I? I mean,
sure." I tell him, I'm like, I don't know about you, but do you really want to risk I'm a fairly good friend of the commander. Do you really want to risk something were to happen on your watch? I'm concerned, for both my safety and yours.
Roll persuasion check.
23.
Right. Yeah. Insight. Okay. He looks at you and just says, well, I can't really tell, because he was examining you on your head, and since you allow him, he just kind of there's no exit wound of this. I don't know. I don't understand.
I touched my ear and it felt like it was oozing. It's coming from there. Like,
Okay.
I know.
You know.
I just want to make sure that you don't go get in trouble as much as if anything were to happen.
You know what? I'm gonna try call this in. Call my captain, see what he thinks. Well, we certainly couldn't have our guests here getting injured or something like that. However, it does take a while from here to get to the temple. The planet observatory is like there is some slight distance between here and there. So I'll just have to call in. Just
it's
wait
up
for
to
a
you.
second. Yeah,
Just remember.
Yeah.
Technically, I'm not under. I haven't been told I'm under arrest.
Yeah,
we're just
you're
having
definitely
a chat
not.
here.
Yeah, you're definitely not.
I just want to make sure that nothing is going to. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he just gives you like just kind of says, "Please stay here as I go talk to my captain," and then he just kind of walks out of the outpost and trying to find his captain.
As soon as he leaves,
yeah,
I'm gonna cut my hand even better, make it a really good one, and all over the side of my fucking head.
I will say you take 2 points of.
It doesn't matter.
Cut
as
damage.
As soon as I have sufficient blood everywhere, and even all over my clothes.
Okay.
I'll do lay on hands because I'm a little bit low on health, anyways.
Okay.
So let's say I take 4 points of self-inflicted, which is a max for a dagger.
Yeah.
I'm gonna heal myself for then 14 points of.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. We'll resolve your part later. As right now, Ravani, as you were having chit chat, Tali is walking right into the lion's den. Ravani, you're also walking into the lion's den. How quaint. And the guards on your side having discussion with you, talk to you a little bit about the Minecraft family. Well, the house of Minecraft. They actually have a house inside. They're actually part of the noble family that resides in where the Silver Council lives. That's actually all the parts of the nobles where they live in. And as you walk further and further, you also witness this unpalace-y palace, like the one Tali saw before, but you didn't know that because you didn't know she's coming back. Yeah, so you saw this stone structure well blended with the trees and the surroundings, and you were led by the guard deeper inside as you guys walk straight into the front gate. I will say, because you guys didn't take much longer time, Tali, roll me a perception check. All right. With that perception check, the boy is talking way too loud. You can't really.
Yeah, I'm just
tell.
Tuned in on him
Yeah, the boy is okay. But he always gets quiet for a few, just a few lines, and then he goes back up. Yeah, he gets really excited easily, and then he gets back up. So yeah, for the guards. They are deaf. They just roll 2 1s. I mean, amazing.
Wow.
I mean, I just can't get it. I'm rolling super low to that. If you guys are having an encounter, you guys are killing it. An actual combat encounter, you guys are killing it. But anyway, the guards are deaf. Yeah, the guards are deaf, and they just walk inside. And yeah, as soon as you walk inside, you realize, Ravani, the interior is actually way bigger than the surroundings. If you guys have watched Harry Potter, the magic card and everything. Yeah, the interior is actually so much bigger than you would imagine. And you can even
This looks bigger on the inside.
Yes.
Sorry.
Nice.
It's TARDIS shit going on right here.
Yeah, true. So you guys actually saw Ravani, you actually saw a forest when you walk inside. It's as if you left the whole city surroundings and into the deeper heart of like a forest, like especially the ones that are in the top of the mountains where you guys as you guys walk in like further and further, you also saw like a small like pool, but it feels like so much like a lake. Like the size of it, it's really small, but it just at the gaze of it, you feel so clear. Like you can even see the bottom so easily, and the bottom is really deep, but you can see right through the bottom. It feels just amazing, and there's birds inside. It's not a dead forest. It's like there are animals, there are birds. You even see a deer like just walk out of the forest and just start drinking inside the pool. I mean, it just looks everything so well blended. As you walk further, you heard the guard just speak to you and says, "If you don't mind, please wait here for a second. We'll have to announce your arrival and to the queen, and so she can properly lead you to for further questions and stuff like that." So yeah, and then you see.
Sure.
Yeah.
No problem.
Then you see the guard touch on the side of his shoulder. There is from your walk inside here, you already noticed that the guard is wearing kind of a suit of armor with like feather blend like texture. It feels light, but it looks sturdy. And then when you touch on the right side of his shoulder, you saw like the raven that was crested on his shoulder kind of glows as its eyes glows, and there's no sound coming out, but like beautiful music. It's like someone playing a flute with the tune so delightful that actually caused a few birds start chirping, and then along with the tune. And then you notice that the guard kind of bows a little bit and says, "So, my queen, we have an informant claiming she witnessed the suspect you were looking for, and just right in the banquet." And then the guard kind of really not entirely sure how to pick up, because it's his first time dealing with a situation like this. The queen, Ravani, you saw just gently walk out from the inner circle of the forest and just walked towards you. And she's still covered in heavy veil, and like you can't really see her face and all that. And she walks towards you and says to the guard, "You may leave us." I mean, the guard's just like, "But my queen." The queen just says, "It's all right. You may leave us." And then the guard just kind of nods, and then give you also a nod, Ravani, and then just gently slide to the side and just. Yeah.
I sort of respectfully bow to her as well. Your Majesty, it's a pleasure to meet you.
The queen kind of says, "We can skip the formality. I mean, you do have the information about the suspect, the regicide you claimed about, right? Do you know her? Do you know of her?"
Well, to be honest, I was hoping that I might be able to try and set the record straight about her.
In that case, you know her well.
Yes, well, the truth is, Tali and I have have been adventuring together on the on another plane in Faerun for a while now, and and so what I kind of want to try and sort of do at this point is I sort of try and sort of start like telling her the story, sort of like the story of like
Your
of like
traveling
how
experience.
yeah how
stuff.
Tali and I first met, and sort of like running down like the sort of the highlights of
Mhm.
our adventures so far, and then eventually sort of leading up to how we ended up here in the Lux, and the things and like the things that have been sort of happening to us there, and as I sort of finish as I finish sort of as I sort of wrap that up, I sort of finish off with I I and and I and it's just we've we've been we've been we've traveled together, we've been through hell together, we've we've even bled together, and 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 I know I can't fully understand like the circumstances of the of the of your family, but but I know in my heart that that the Tali I know wouldn't be capable of just killing anyone like killing any old person like that in cold blood, especially not a member of her own family. It's I can't imagine that. I just it's sort of just like just trying to like get a sort of like
Speech.
impassioned
Yeah.
speech.
Okay. So is that all? Okay.
Uh,
To your surprise, as you were starting to talk, the queen didn't, well, call the guards immediately to apprehend you. In fact, she doesn't really respond much. As
yeah,
you said,
at this point
yeah.
I'm like I'm like sort of like I'm sort of like looking down I'm sort of starting to be sort of starting to like turn to starting to like turn to like my nerves are getting to me at this point, and
Mhm.
I'm sort of having trouble like making eye contact
Mhm.
tact with her at this point.
Okay.
But
You have to
I'm sort of like
look down to the floor in order to continue your speech. In order to, yeah, pick up
I'm
what
like
you're talking. Yeah.
I'm sort of like tensely sort of waiting for what her reactions are going to be at this
Mhm.
point.
All right. Uh, at this moment, roll me a perception check, just to make sure. 14.
14.
All right. She's been awfully quiet. Like she didn't. The thing is, she didn't arrest you immediately. Unlike the guards, unlike Naira that was outside claiming to, like, just call you on sight. However, she's not like normal person who's like so like thrilled as you are sharing your experience, sharing that you actually know of her. It's just in short, she's playing without any type of emotion expressed. In fact, as your 14 perception would do to you, you don't hear her respond. You don't also see her movement. That's the whole thing. Totally. At this moment, the boy actually managed to throw the grappling hook on top of the palace, and just says, "All right, I think we're good to go." And, oh, sorry, I think we're good to go.
It's okay. Beautiful work, Rob.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. He flips out a small, like, kind of a timer of sort. There's like unlike the normal sand type, but it's like kind of an arcane spark of it. He's like, oh, this is like the standard timer, so the time we have breaks, and the chef will know when to cause and stuff like that. But I'm really sorry.
You have to go?
Yeah, I guess I have to go. Just be sure to put the hook back when you guys come down, and then just,
Of course.
you know,
Nothing but professionalism.
yes. And don't attract any attentions, and
I wouldn't dream of it.
yeah. I will see you guys maybe later.
Yeah, I'm gonna clap him on the shoulders and go, "You are brilliant. Walk into that kitchen like you own it. They're going to love you."
Okay, thank you. And then he started just running away into the further distance, and yeah, he's pretty easy to dart into the shadows and stuff like that. Yeah, you get this feeling that this boy would do great if he's like a rogue.
Okay, I just feel
Yeah.
so bad for the poor kid. Just like, oh my god, he's
Yeah.
done. Kind of grin at Frederick, just like, new recruit.
Frederick is like, not the best time, but he's got potential. Anyway, we should go inside. I really want to check on your friends there. It doesn't feel right.
Something is
Yeah.
wrong.
And then you started climbing. As you climb to about a third, you can see now from the window side that Ravani is actually standing inside. And it appears that she's talking to someone. It's a little bit further away. You can only tell Ravani is because you've been traveling
know
with her
Ravani.
a lot, and
Yeah.
she's wearing that dress, so you can easily spot her out. Yeah, but it seems like the surroundings of her, it seems a little bit different. Like they are shadows with unusually long spike. Like the floor on the ground, like where there shouldn't be any shadows, like there's the curtains and the large like paintings on the wall, they shouldn't have that such a long extended shadow. However, surrounding her is a bunch of like extruding spikes of shadows that doesn't seem like they belong here. Yeah, but it doesn't look like they're doing anything. That's the whole thing. Yeah. And then you continue to climb up, and then just reach to the floor top. Just reach to the top of the roof, and then you found a really just a large, like kind of like a ceiling hatch, and then you can just like slide down. It's easily. There's a small ladder like leading downwards. Yeah. What would you like to do?
Super cautiously.
Roll me a stealth check.
I'm
by the
gonna.
way.
Yeah.
Yes, because
Yeah.
Frederick is also gonna do the same, and he rolled a 19. Not bad.
Okay.
Alright, not bad. Yeah.
Thank God for this time. I'm gonna motion to him to find Alicia. I'm now like those shadows around Ravani. Just Jesus, I keep switch tracking, but yeah, I'm gonna go back down to where I saw Ravani.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
It's
gonna
about a
gesture for
third
Frederick.
of the rope, so you have to climb the rope downwards.
Oh, I'm gonna
again?
go inside the tower.
Okay,
I'm gonna
so
go back
inside
down.
the tower. Okay. Frederick's like, but I don't know what your friends look like.
Allie, just Allie.
I don't know what she looks like, girl. I never really met
Me.
her.
Look at me.
Oh, so you both okay? You look alike. That's. You should have said so. Anyway. he just like slightly darted down, and you guys both landed on an outreach of a sort of like a balcony of sort. Yeah, and then you like sneak inside with ease, and you can find for you, Tali, you're looking down at Ravani. At this point, you are about almost like 80 feet away, and you can hear what she's talking. She's kind of explaining. So, Ravani, that's when you were explaining to the queen, like,
Yeah.
you guys travel together, you guys, well, like, fight together and stuff like that. Because it's a long story, so when you come in, it's almost near the end, where she's expressing that you couldn't be the killer of sort.
I'm hidden by the doorway, just like this, just like holy shit.
Yeah, because you see a little bit more, because you see the spiked shadows that are surrounding her. Yeah, and the queen seems awfully quiet. For you, Ravani, not only that, roll me an Arcana check.
Arcana is 14.
All right. Your eyes may be deluding you, but it doesn't feel like someone is standing right in front of you. Like, with your Arcana experience, yeah, there's just this gentle shift of stuff that presented itself right in front of you, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like it's right there. What would you like to do?
There's still been like no response from the queen, right?
Nope. Besides her first greetings with you, it's like that's pretty much about it.
So eventually I sort of like a peek an eye open. I sort of like look at her, sort of like your Majesty, like sort of like trying to look for some sort of response, and if there's still no response, I'll sort of like cautiously like reach out like a hand towards like the queen.
All right.
Like slowly, cautiously doing that.
Okay. So you ask, no respond, and then you reach out your hand. Like, you gently reach out your hand and about to actually what are you gonna do? Poke her, or are you just gonna shake her hand and
sort of like I sort of want to like touch her shoulder, like from what you sort of describes. I sort of want to like touch her shoulder, like just to make sure like she's actually there.
So, all right. As you like reach your hands towards her shoulder, I would like you to make a dexterity check.
Oh,
dexterity save, actually. Dex save.
Oh, that's a bad sign. Yeah. That's really a bad sign.
You swoop through, like there's nothing there, and then you grab hold to something. And then you grab hold to something in the circle, in the center of her image. It feels like something is grabbing hold onto you, actually. And then you feel there is sort of like a shining shackle around your wrist.
I sort of like I try to like move like leap back as much as I can with this as I look in like shock at this manacle that suddenly appeared on my hand. Like I just sort of like start like looking around, like calling out like what is this, like what's going on, what
and then you heard inside the shadow some other figure is walking out. Tali,
I hear Benny cry out, I'm in there.
Yeah, you were hiding behind the like when you entered the balcony, there's no actual door. It's more like a glass, like cover, like a window, glass window. And then you sneak in near the side of the curtain, because there's actually a large curtain on the side. So you stuck behind it, and then you are looking down. From what you can tell, because Riveni doesn't seem to aware of that, but from what you can see behind, you can see actually a looming, like, kind of a shadow that was in the center of the image. The moment she's like getting closer to the image, the shadow appears more vivid, and then that's when Riveni put her hand onto the image and then just get in contact with the shadow and then got shackled. And then after that, you saw like a figure walking out from further behind to the center, and then you see the same dressing like the queen, and then the same veil covered, but this time she actually speaks and says, "We caught you, and now you'll answer all our questions about where your companion is, and then you may get a quick death."
I see this thing too, right?
Yes, you totally.
I sort of just look at her like, you're, and like she looks like the queen, right?
Yes.
Is that what you were?
Yeah, it's like the same dressing, the same tone. It's just, it feels like deeper. Like the tone feels more like crushing, and it feels like murderous. Like the sense of someone is out for blood.
Like, I sort of just I'm assuming it's like for one I think that this is like the queen, so I'm sort of like going like, your majesty, but what do you what's going on?
Silence.
What?
And then you feel this shock coming from the cuff. It's like it doesn't really hurt that much. You only take about 5 points of like lightning damage, but you feel this
crap.
like muscle tense by the lightning, and you can't really just properly express yourself. Like everything in your muscles seem tense, and then you heard her saying, "You're only allowed to speak when I told you to, and you will answer all my questions about where this Tali is." For Viking, let's switch back.
Crap.
For Viking, right now, Viking, you're like, rubbing your temple with blood and just trying to make sure everything's like appears the way they should appear to be as your condition and stuff. And then you heard the heavy footsteps coming back.
Before that, I like dig through the bag of holding, and I pull out like some of the raw fish, and I like cram it into my mouth really quickly. I'm like,
oh my god.
Right. as soon as they come back, I hear the door open. My immediate is just like, and I like spit
raw
out
fish
all of
coming
the fish
out.
on the raw fish on the floor.
Yeah. All right. As soon as they open the door, they were like, "Holy, what the?" And then just you just puke all over the floor, and they like kind of dart away with disgust, and like kind of gentle disgust, like not the kind that will just set someone off, but they're like really uncomfortable. And the captain was like, "What are you waiting for? Get this man to a priest, to whoever that can help him. I'm sick of this. I'm going out. You guys take care of this." And then
I'm like,
yeah.
Be careful. I hope it's not contagious.
All right.
He says
so
he's sick
the
of
guards
this too.
kind of like, "Oh, what have you done?" and all that kind of looks. And they were like, "All right, you know what? Come with us. We'll find you a priest that can help you with your condition."
Maybe
And
a
then,
bishop.
Yeah, they're like, Yeah, you wish. And then they're like escorting you out, just kind of walking you out of the palace at this point. What would you like to do?
I'm like, kind of staggering a little bit, like more so to annoy them more than anything else.
Okay. So yeah, you were escorted out of the palace. At this point, you were like walking for about 10 minutes or so. Besides the occasional staggering, trying to slow them down, there's nothing else. So like it was a 5 minutes walk, but then you crank it up to 10, and then 20 minutes. Like they will have to constantly hold you on the back and stuff like that. And eventually, you guys reach to the front, sort of like gate, and then the garden doesn't really have a gate, but front entrance of the garden. So yeah. Anything else you would like to do? Nothing?
I'd be like, I gotta thank you guys. Next time I talk to the commander, I swear I'll put in a good word for you.
Yeah. We're not in the same system, but yeah, appreciate the offer, and just this time is the other guard that's speaking. This is a new face you never met before, and he's really reluctant is the slightest word. More like annoyed at this point. He's like,
I'm like, I haven't even eaten anything. Like, I don't know what Nerva was her name or whatever. Naira did to me. I'm like, I don't know. This is I've never felt this way before.
Yeah. Have you ever thought that maybe you deserve this? I mean, as I know, Lady Naira wouldn't normally do such a thing unless someone
victim
really
shame. Don't blame the victim. I did nothing to her, and she attacked me.
Yeah,
you've seen that,
as you claimed. We'll see about that once we reach the temple, and once some priest ask you in the zone of truth. Let's see what happens then. In the meantime, let's just go. Now walk. This guard is not the kind guard you had before, and you heard him like kind of like muttering words like, "This isn't my shift, you fucking assholes. Why am I put onto this drunken whatever noble?" And like he's just grunt, being like.
If he really pisses me off, I'll shit myself just out of spite.
Yeah, okay. Roll me a constitution check to try to shit yourself. It's really hard task when you have nothing in your stomach.
No,
I'm just kidding.
It all depends on if he pissed me off enough.
Yeah, alright. So yeah, you were escorted out of the palace and be on your own merry way. And it took you about, because you procrastinate a lot along the way to annoy the guards and stuff like that.
Performance.
Yes. So roll me a performance check.
15.
Yep. The guards didn't really bother to check on you, so yeah, they're like, just move on. They don't really want to get close to you. That's the thing, because the raw fish and the blood and stuff. Yeah, they're like, we might as well just call someone to pick him up. And he emphasized on the someone. And the other guy thinks for a moment and is like, you may be right. He walks towards the side post and then just kind of press one of the, kind of like a button on the side of the wall. He like reached into a small glass, a small iron box that's embedded on the side of the wall. He reaches inside. He kind of pries it open, reaches inside, and smack on the button. And then you saw just a few posts away, there's usually automatons on the street that are guarding the street. One of them starts walking towards you, like heavy footsteps. And then the automatons walks towards the guards and says, "Good evening. How may I assist you?" And then the guard just points at you, Viking, and says, "Just pick him up, put him on your shoulder, and so you move on easily." And then the automaton's like, I'm glad to be of service. And then walks towards you, Viking, and gently pick you up, put you onto his shoulder, and then just like, now, can I get the information of where you guys are going? The guards are like, just go to the planet observatory.
I chime in to the brothel.
Yeah. The automaton's like, I'm sorry. I'm not allowed to go inside the brothel for endangering the safety of the merchants.
Aww.
The guards are like, destination, planet observatory, drop him near the Lathander's temple, and that's your job. Do not let him get away or wander off and by himself, and make sure he reach the destination safely. Now we'll be leaving you with the automatons, just because. Don't try anything funny. Just follow the automaton's order, and you won't be hurt. And just go there, get yourself checked. Then, yeah, we'll talk about it later. I really need a drink. And he just turns around, talks to the other guard, and just like, let's go grab a drink. It'll probably take about, an hour or so. The other guy's like, okay, fine. Yeah,
I'm like,
just started walking
thanks.
off.
Sorry for throwing up on your floor.
Yeah. The guard just gives you a middle finger and then walks off. That's the really spiteful one. Yeah. The other guard kind of looks at you and says, be safe. And then they just walk off. Yeah.
Love you long time.
Alright. So you are now on the street with the automaton carrying you. What would you like to do? Just playing sick?
I tell it to go faster.
The automaton's like, I'm sorry, but my speed is set to the limit of 30 feet per movement.
God. Dash faster.
I'm sorry, I don't have the dash function in my system. Yeah, so you guys see, like, as you are walking, well, the automatons are walking, you see kids on the streets like, Mom, look, automatons, and why can't I sit on automaton? I mean, like, this man, he's older than me, and he sits on automaton. And the mom on the side just like kind of takes his kids like, don't look, this guy just, because you're puking and like trying to, the mom just trying to escort her kids off the streets, like, don't look, don't look at this guy. Yeah, that's it. And then
I'm like, only the rich kids get to ride the automatons.
But we're rich.
That's all, like,
and the kids just like, we got money. And then the mom just like, nope, just
that's kind of mean though. Not evil, but it's mean.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Don't believe a word that man said. And they just occasionally kids just point at you and just kind of yells at their moms they want to ride or something. But beyond that, yeah, it's nothing. No one actually stops you. The city's patrol actually saw you, not the automaton though, the actual officers that were like patrolling the street, and they kind of looks at you and just give you a nod and then just be on their way. And yeah, until like you, with the automaton's help, and since you are not being able to procrastinate, you kind of reach there in fair time, about 30 minutes or so. It's really fast as the automaton walks, but it's rather fast. And then the automaton kind of leaves you on the front step of the temple. The temple looks this time the temple actually looks magnificent. As you can see, like marble pillars, and then you can see stone, like well carved floor layout plans, and then you see fine rugs and like big like sculpture, and then like all the things surrounding it is the theme of light. Every fiber in your body is going against this place. Like, for Merkel, it's always, well, even though you don't really worship him, since he's been a bad deity the whole time, this place just goes against your vibe. Like, everything inside makes you want to vomit. Yeah, just so cheerful and light, delightful. It's not my tone.
On the bright side, I could probably vomit anyways.
Yeah, on the bright side. True.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So the whole temple, yeah. Bad joke, sorry, bad pun, but anyway. You kind of walks inside, and then there's one kind of a fine dressed cleric with a hood over his head, but you can definitely tell that it's a he. And he's actually
The automaton's outside though, right?
what?
The automaton's still outside.
No, the
Like-
automaton actually like stand right in front of the stairs and like put you down, and then just let you walk the rest, because apparently the stairs is way too small for his footstep to step onto it, or else like he will crash everything. Yeah.
Keep the motor running, and I like tap on the
Yeah.
automaton and then I
The
can
automaton's
walk
like-
up the stairs.
Of course, sir. And then he just turns around, just stand there guarding, and then just does nothing. You walk inside, or do you walk inside? Or, okay. You
Yep.
walk to the front. Like I said, there is a person like dressed in the long robes and like heavy hood, and he's actually the robes are in line with like golden linings. It's not really gold, but it's like gold painted trims on the side with red, like reddish long sleeves and all that kind of attire and stuff like that. So yeah, the cleric kind of sits there. He's actually sitting behind a bench and then like just reading a fine book. And then as you walk in, he's like, "Good evening, sir. Is there anything I can help you with?"
Excuse my appearance. I am here to speak with what's his name, Bishop Lorenzo.
If I'm hearing correctly, are you saying you're gonna speak with the bishop? I mean, can I get your name?
I kind of ignore her when she says, "Can I have your name?" But I show her the thing that the commander gave me, the emblem,
Mhm.
and I'm
Well-
like, I've been sent here by the commander.
He kind of looks at the emblem and says, "I'm sorry. I don't really recognize this emblem. I mean, you said this is given by the commander,
Yes.
Commander Knox. Is there any verification that can, identify yourself? I mean, with all due respect, I really don't recognize this emblem. And for you, Viking, you are aware of that because the commander actually spoke to you about this. This is the emblem
It was-
as you were like given a sort of like a raise in the status of the like Lord of the Order of the Gauntlet, and this emblem kind of works in Faerun as
Yeah, it's more of it's the Order of the Gauntlet
yes.
thing.
Yeah.
But Knox did say that it was a symbol that people like his guard would recognize. I thought.
yeah, his guard, but
Yeah, okay.
apparently the priest inside the temple doesn't really recognize what it is. And
This
since
is,
you are not escorted by one of the guards, they can't really explain it for you. So
I'm like, this is a symbol handed down to only the astute members of the Order of the Gauntlet. It is a sign that I am trusted within their ranks, and I would imagine that Lorenzo would at least have some recognition of this
it will be
as being a
bishop
high standing.
for you,
Sorry.
but yes, if you wouldn't mind, if that's the case, and he kind of do this gesture of like putting his hand out, like saying, "May I?"
Yeah.
Okay. So you hand him over the gauntlets, shield of sort. Not the shield, but more like the emblem. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just a
Yeah. So
thing.
you hand it over to him. You see, the moment you put it on his hand kind of glows for a little bit. The emblem doesn't glow with it. But your items the items you have that are magical on you actually glows for a little bit. And then he's like, okay. And he examines the emblem a little bit and says to you, turns towards you and says, I will go in and deliver this to the bishop, and then we'll see what he thinks about this item. In the meantime, please stay here and wait for further notice.
I also have another item that I've been told the bishop could assist with.
Yes.
I believe it has some. I don't know. I can't remember if semi-sealed fate has religious significance or not. But
in fact, it does. But it would be a different deity, though. You wouldn't know. It's Tears, like it's crafted by Tyr, the god of justice. So yeah, it'll be a different deity. They worship Lathander here, so it's a slight difference.
I understand this is Tyr's handiwork, but Bishop Lorenzo would also be interested in this item as well, and I kind of show him semi-sealed fate.
He kind of looks at it, and for a moment, like, it's really hard to like read on his face. But then all of a sudden, it seems like he noticed of something. He, like, both his hands are reached out to handle the semi-sealed fate, and you can see they're clearly shaking, like, and tremble. And they're like, "Is this what I think it is? I mean, if that's the case," and he looks at you and says, "Never really catch your name, sir." You can see his attitude went from like really just normally polite but distant polite, turned into like a respectful like kind of status.
I'll tell him my name is specifically Paladin Vakeen.
Okay. So Brother Vakeen. Okay. He actually says, all right, I'll deliver these to the bishop as soon as possible. Please just wait outside for a while. You can.
I feel naked without semi-sealed fate.
Yeah, but you still have your
But
shield.
of all places, I give him like. I figure it's okay. It's a church of all places, but
True.
I'm gonna probably burn this fucking place down if I don't get it back.
Probably. We'll see. We'll see if the priest is being honest. You can actually roll for an insight check to see if he's trying to steal your semi-sealed fate. It's up to you. You don't have to.
3.
And
I'm gonna get it back.
He's 100% gonna steal the semi-sealed fate. 100%.
I'm gonna burn this.
Yeah,
bastard
you have
to
to
the ground.
burn this fucking place down. No, I'm just kidding. All right, he's a man of cloth that you trusted that he will provide it back to you, but you still have your doubt. But that's just it. Anyway, he rush for the delivery, and let's switch back to matters at hand, since literally matters at hand. Riveni, you were
before we switch.
Yeah.
Is there like I can't remember what the church calls it, but it's where there's like holy water and stuff.
Yes.
I'm gonna like wash my face, just like in the holy water, just like fucking. When the guy's gone.
Much of like a, it will probably slightly different. You walk near a fountain though. There is an actual fountain inside the temple of light. Well, that is the proper name of the temple. And then there's like a small fountain you can like wash your face on. You're not certain if it's like holy water though.
I just want to say, I've now used the fountain to wash my face.
Yeah.
And if you remember, I look like the fucking Joker. So
True.
it's like
Everything just inside the water.
the end of the Dark Knight, where like the Joker's all like had a rough night, you know, one night stand kind of. I look like a oh god,
nice.
because I completely forgot about the makeup.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, just throwing that one out there.
I also completely forgot about the makeup, because if that's the case, you'll have all the disadvantage on trying to convince people because you look like the jester. But anyway, you are really convincing, so let it slide. Anyway,
sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. All right. So you wash your face and everything's off. Switching back to Ravani.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So the queen now looks angrily into you and just says, I ask, you answer. If I don't like what I hear, or if I think you're lying to me, you get shocked. Capiche?
I sort of just like stand there like a sort of like a deer like caught like a sort of like a deer caught in headlights, or giving her this sort of like shocked, like betrayed look. But I don't sort of speak up just yet, because I don't to avoid getting shocked again.
So you are not speaking, and then you feel this another jolt inside your body as you're like being silent. You take 1 point of lightning damage. This time is like lighter, but it feels like intense.
Like a warning shot.
Yes. And it's like, capiche? If you're willing to die right here, right now, I can still have other means to torture your soul to get my answers. Are we clear?
I sort of look at her with a bit more of a defiant look, but I eventually answer like, all right, fine.
So, first question. Where is Tali?
Like, the last I told you I'd run off, and I specifically gave you instructions to throw me under the bus. So yeah.
Funny thing is, we all thought I was the one going to throw you under the bus.
Yes.
I sort of respond like the last time I saw Tali, we were both at the party, and then she ran off to do her own thing, and that's the last I saw of her.
All right. So you saw on your body, it glows like a gentle, like yellow light, and the queen seems satisfied when you answer the question. The queen seems satisfied, and then just says, "Now, do you have any means to contact her?"
Do I assume that Tali has the other eye?
You definitely know, because like it's on her the whole time, and you also know that Viking handed you the other eye of Primordial, so you definitely know. You think for about 3 seconds. The queen sees you like this. shocks you again. You take another 2 points of lightning damage. And the queen just says, "Speak."
Do I have a sense that whatever this is going to like auto detect me if I try to lie?
Roll me an insight check to see if you know. Well, Arcana, sorry. Insight for checking the queen if she's gonna. Arcana check. Yeah, this mechanism is new to you, but you got this feeling like combined with the yellow light that you guys had on your body, and the way she's saying that if you lie you'll get shocked. This is probably something that can detect if you're lying or not.
Yeah, I sort of just like curse under my breath, but I sort of like force out this sort of like yes through clenched teeth.
Okay.
I clearly not
Mm-hmm.
I clearly didn't want to do it, but
right.
Given the current situation,
all right. Third one. Hand the way of communication over. I would say at this moment, Tali,
I'm just like I'm sitting there going, it's gonna call and I'm gonna get caught. This is
I know.
the worst.
As at this moment, you saw like the spiked shadow kind of retreat a little bit, as the moment when Ravani got caught, it's when the spiked shadow retrieved, behind the curtains and stuff like that. And then, as the queen is talking, you were seeing Ravani got shocked repeatedly. This is the time where Frederick kind of comes out behind you and says, "Hey,
good.
What is going on? Why is she caught? Why is she here?"
This is about to get bad. Okay, no matter.
You girls, I mean.
Listen. I'm about to do something really stupid, okay? No matter what, you take her and you get the hell out of here. You understand?
No, you are not gonna do it because I found something more important. You are not gonna do anything stupid right now.
Yes, I am. She'll die if I don't, okay?
There's something more urgent at hand.
What? What could be more urgent?
He dragged you to the side and like kind of points down, and you see in the room, there's one body laying down, and it's dressed in the same clothes as Alethea. However, it doesn't look at all like her. In fact, it looks like someone is wearing your face.
Oh, woo.
And then the face shift. As you can see, the person that was dressed like in Alethea's robes and stuff, is flipping through kind of a pamphlet or something, and you see on each page of the pamphlet is an image of each of the personnel you encountered before. So you see, first, you see Alethea, definitely. You see Lavinia, definitely, and then you see yourself, and then you also see. On the fourth page is a painting that's, an image that's getting clearer by the moment, and then that's Ravani's face. Yep. And then eventually you see the rogue figure just kind of unhood herself. Well, kind of lay down, just kind of like, this is exhausting. And then you see like the texture of the face kind of it kind of rub its temple, and then just everything kind of shifts back to a purplish, like semi-gladness figure, and then the pupils got widened, and then you see the same similar creature you saw when you were with Halia, and then when she was doing the shipment, and then you saw this doppelganger before.
God
Yeah.
damn it.
And then it's like, oh, how long is it gonna take? I mean, just off her and we can. You see the doppelganger just kind of just do a nonchalant, just kind of rubbing on, and then just kind of like, it's taking way too long. We got matters to attend to, girl. And then he just kind of shifts back into Alethea's face, and then just walks. Because you guys are looking down from the ceiling, from the glass, it's not full. It's definitely not aware of your presence, and he just walks out of the door. And you heard Frederick just kind of says, "See, and there's a whole bunch of the others like this. Entire thing, everything in here I saw is the same fucking creature."
Okay, all right. Well, they don't know we've seen them. You need to go and tell the others. And I'm going to send Ravania after you.
Believe me. Like I said,
They will.
I was, like someone else told you, I was dishonorably discharged.
Yeah, but you... Well, they're not going to believe me, accused murderer. Like...
Is there
We're in a
anyone
bind.
that can help us? I saw the commander seems to know you guys pretty well.
He does. The commander is trustworthy. He got imprisoned.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Shit. He's been taken inside here, and I don't see
Yes.
it. I don't see anything anywhere. I can't really find him. So, shit. That probably means he's inside the dungeon, or whatever dungeon they have.
This is what we're good at. This is what you're good at. You can find him, because I'm most certainly going to be causing a very, very loud distraction.
Fucking girl, you... Alright, take these.
I can't leave
And
her.
then he pulls out a bag, like, he pulls into his bag. He gave you, like, 3 canisters. And then just says, they each have different colors, so it's like blue, black, and white. And then he's just like, white for blinding, blue for emergency, and black, well, black means silence. So, yeah.
Once you go black,
Black. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. But anyway, the black, just save the blue ones for emergency. The black one,
Got it.
it's for silence, so it can better aid you. Use the white one first.
Of course.
You better get back, cause if you don't, Alethea gonna kill me. Lavinia's gonna kill me, and she's still alive.
Uh-huh. Oh, I will definitely come back for them to kick my ass in person. Don't you worry.
All right. Off we go. And then he just kind of darts into the deeper end of the rooms, and leaving you with 3 canister in your hand, and Ravani in danger.
Yeah, back to Ravani back.
Yeah, Ravani, you were... Well, what are you doing at this point? You were demanded to hand over the stuff you were, well, given.
I sort of try and stand up as best as I can, sort of looking at her defiantly, and I sort of start saying, like, before I, all right, but before I do, were you watching when I was talking to that illusion of you? What I said.
Well, I am. You can hear the tone of the voice changed at this point. And then you heard the sound from the back saying, What took so long? Don't play with your food. And then you see another hooded figure, and then you see Alethea's face showed up. Just like, the queen. Well, the assumed queen kind of looks at her now. Come on, it just feels fun. I mean, it's always a pleasure to hear them squirm a little bit. And the creature that's wearing Alethea's face, let's call it fake Alethea for the sake of it, just kind of says, well, we don't have much time. She's gonna wake up again. And then the fake queen just kind of says, all right. And just, she kind of like rubs her temple, and to your horror, you see the queen kind of reveals her veil, and like the face kind of shift into a purplish creature you guys saw a long time ago when you were you encounter Halia and her troops. Yeah.
I'm going to saunter in like a lunatic.
I sort of look at this in just shock, and then immediately get a sort of angry expression as I shout.
You got shocked. That is the moment you got shocked again. Yes. I'm not killing it because that is what they're doing. They're like kind of shocked, tase you a little bit, and then you take 1 point of electrocution damage. It's like the guy just fake queen just says, well, it's really uncomfortable under these veils, and this guy is like, well, that's just a toy. It's like, well,
when they say it's really uncomfortable, I'm like, I know, right? Oh my goodness! I just kind of like walk in, just like,
okay.
Crazy.
And they both look at you, and the other guy kind of reach into his back pocket, trying to grab something.
I'm
just
I will say because of this.
As soon as the electrocution stops, I sort of just shout and like, you, what did you do with the real queen?
What did you do? Yeah, like scattered voices, and Tali, roll me. Well, actually, Rivani and Tali, you guys roll me initiative. Yeah. Before we do anything else.
Why can't I start fighting priests? Like, this is bullshit.
I don't know.
The guy comes out, I just fucking smack him one. Like, just...
I need to...
Why?
I need to select my icon to roll initiative, right?
I'm gonna show your icon. Hold on. Real quick. Yeah. Oh no! I'm the first one to show up, but I can't do anything. Yeah, this is the dice for you.
I'm about to eat shit.
Do it. It's on the top.
Okay.
Right,
okay.
You can do it.
All right. Okay.
Do you, by chance, have some form of said inspiration you could possibly use? Because we never use inspiration.
Yeah, you guys never used it, so
yeah, I still have one. Yeah.
I have
to use it.
I've had inspiration for ages.
Yeah.
Never used it. Can I use it?
Yeah, sure. You can definitely use it. So the inspiration works like this. You get a chance to reroll the stuff.
Okay.
Just one chance to reroll.
I mean, I can't. I can literally not do worse.
Yeah. All right. Slightly better. Yeah.
If I re-roll though, do I have to take the second result?
Yes. You'll have to take the second result.
I thought it was to give yourself advantage.
No, it's like that's just different rules for different people. In my case, I see it as a free chance because you are inspired and to do beyond your limit. So, yeah.
Because my roll is pretty good, I think.
It's not a
1. What's your dexterity modifier?
2.
What's the dex score? Sorry. 16? 15? Sorry, 15?
4. Dexterity is 14.
All right, so the doppelganger is right behind you and descending. All right, so the doppelganger is right behind you. All right, but of all that matters, I'm just listing out the scores. The first is like Tali dropped in. I would say you still have an action to do stuff. It just because you enter the party like and surprise them some sort of way. So yeah.
I'd love to slam my sword down on the chains and do my best to disrupt them. Yeah.
Do it. Roll for attacks. Throw down
Jesus,
the chains.
please.
Oh, you mean the shackles?
The one binding me.
Oh, okay. Okay. You definitely slam it, like slice it right open. Roll for damage, actually. Well, not right open, but you definitely hit it. Well, let's just say this. Raveni, you take 10 points of thunder damage because the shackle is electrocutional
attached to you.
And attached to you. However, since the sneak attack works, you're now free of the shackles.
That's 10 points?
Yep.
Ouch.
That hurts, I know. But look on the bright side, you're now free. So, yeah. And then that will be your action because you already used your movement to walk into the door. So we're back to normal initiative orders. So, Raveni, it's your turn now. What would you like to do? You got hit multiple times. It's not a good day for you, so.
I just sort of like staggered back to my feet, like, thanks. I think.
Get out, run.
Okay. What can I do here? All right. All right. All right. As soon as I sort of recover, I'm going to spend 2 of my sorcery points, and I'm going to cast haste on Tali as a quicken spell.
Okay, nice. All right, so I will say she's hasted.
And so that took my bonus action.
Yes.
And then I'm going to cast a wall of fire for as long as it possibly can go, like direct and and like raise it up like directly in front of the doppelgangers.
All right. What level did you cast it on? Wall fire.
It's a 4th level spell.
All right. As you cast it, you see right in front of the doppelganger, he's gonna try to. He looks at you, and then just his eyes beam of a purplish light, and looks directly at you and try to disrupt you and do a counter spell. So let's see. 3rd level and below is automatically countered, but 4th level and above is let's see. What's your? I think it's caster level, right? Let me just check. For purposes, I'm trying to determine the spell save DC.
Yeah, isn't it based on the spell?
Yes.
Casted.
So that's what I'm checking right now. So interrupt creature. 4th level or higher, make an ability check of your spell casting modifier ability. So the difficulty equals to 14 because it's 10 plus the spell's level. You cast it at 4th level, so it's 14.
Right. Okay.
Plus. Well, he beats you by 2. He rolled a 16. Yep. So.
Can I use my bend luck to penalize that?
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Roll.
You need to roll for a D6 or D4, right? I think it's D4.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. So I'm gonna spend 2 more sorcery points. And
you spend 4 sorcery points at the same turn? Let me check. I'm just wondering how many sorcery points you can spend in the same turn.
I don't think there's a limit because
I haven't
based on stuff it scales up and down. Like he could cast 2 level 4 spells, which could eight sorcery points, right?
Yeah, I'm just thinking because there's some there's some resources that you can only do a limit
Once per turn.
Yeah, once per turn. So
I don't think sorcery points are one of those.
I haven't read anything that suggested like there was a limit per turn.
Okay.
I would probably say like Quicken Spell would likely have a once per turn you can do X, Y, and Z. You know?
Right.
But this is like so you are doing.
But it's an independent thing, right?
Yeah. So what's the ability again? Sorry. The sorcery point. What are you using on Twine Spell, Subtle Spell, Quicken Spell?
Well, okay. The haste that I did on Tali was as a Quicken Spell.
Yes. So you use a bonus action to cast, and then
yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm using my main action to cast Wall of Fire in front of the doppelgangers, like facing toward the doppelgangers.
Yes. And then you try to use counterspell.
And since he's counters at me, I'm going to spend 2 more sorcery points to bend the luck against him.
Okay. Cool. Do it.
I think it would work. Like
so. That is a 4.
That is a -4, right?
Yep.
All right. So you pull inside your body and feel the rage that you were being, well, cheated and like lied to and like shocked repeatedly. So you pull all your strength and negate the counterspell within your body, and the doppelganger just watch as your fire burned onto their body, and they kind of yeeks and screams. However, it doesn't look like it hurts them that much. Like normally, Wall of Fire would just incinerate some people, but they seem scorched, but not heavily damaged. So yeah, what are the damage for Wall of Fire? Can you roll me for that?
Right. Wall of Fire. Get it.
All right. Yeah. They take
5d8
damage. All right. That will be the end of your turn, or you can still walk if you want to.
So where are we now in relation
inside, to in initiative orders? You're the first one, so you just went your round. So you still have your movement, but that's about it.
Well, okay. I'm pretty much I'm sort of just gonna move like behind Tali.
Okay, so you move right behind Tali and just trying to hide behind her. That will be the end of your turn.
I sort of glaring in the direction of the doppelgangers.
All right, now will be the doppelganger's turn. The doppelganger, however, is gonna look at you and says, "Don't worry, you won't get out of here alive." And that's where we'll stop our today's sessions. We'll pick up on our next turn to see what the doppelganger is planning on doing to you. And
you want to bet money on that?
Yeah.
Back at them.
All right.
We don't die.
Yeah, finally some action. But, well, not the right place nor time, but at least it's some action. Yeah, let's just see how you guys resolve that later on. Great job, everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, you managed to. I know, right? Like Viking, especially, you are being diplomatic the whole time. You're not doing anything like rash, and you're trying to talk your way out of it. Yeah.
I shouldn't have given away the communication stone, number one. I'm the one off by myself.
I know, and well, technically you're not in any imminent threats. Well, that's before they find out that you probably work for Merkel or something like that. But there's no sign of that, and there's no sign of the indication that you actually work for Merkel and you kill people for a living. No. There's nothing of that.
Yeah, but you know what?
That would be metagaming. So yeah.
The way I could see it is, as my guy sees it, is technically like I could possibly talk my way out of it because like if they find out I'm Merkel, I'm like, you know what? I'm sure people of your pantheon are evil as well as good, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you know, you align specifically. People fall out of grace. People see the error of their ways. So, like, as a religious man, he would actually be able to see that.
Yeah, especially
right. Like, I could actually do that. Yeah. Whereas, like a layman, it would be cut and dry. You're evil. Nope.
Yeah, I know. It won't be like that. So, I would say, like I said, if I deem you for immediately, like they recognize you, there'll be metagaming, because there's no sign of the indication where
it's the pocket watch that I have. It's the only symbol, right?
Yeah, and you never really revealed it to outsiders, so there's that. And also, I don't think there's any imminent threat for you because you never really pose any kind of threat. You're never saying, "Oh, I'm gonna murder the whole temple." I know it's a joke, so don't worry about it. Yeah, unless you're really certainly trying to murder the whole temple. In that case, something will be different. But
other than my face looking like it's melting off?
Yeah. Well, with the water, you are cleansed. So you'll be fine. It's just, you kind of leave your, like, not so tough teammates inside your palace full of...
That's like, not my fault.
I know. You're just getting escorted. But, yeah. Overall, you guys are doing really well. So
I was silver-tongued today. What can I say?
Yeah.
You actually, I can't believe my dice roll today. I mean, the 16, the highest I roll is 16. That's it. Like the initiative and then the counterspell. That's the highest I roll for the whole evening. I was like,
oh my god.
Yeah, I'm surprised you kept rolling so badly.
Yeah, or else things will be a lot worse than they are right now.
Of all things, my character is good at talking. I've had some pretty good moments in the history that I've talked my way out of weird shit.
Especially they are your own creation, but it was like...
I know!
Yeah. But anyway, good job, guys. And
I really wish I had minor illusion of all the spells.
Yeah, of all the spells.
The amount of shit that I would cause with minor illusion.
I would strongly advise take the magic initiate feat. And just
did though.
Roll with it. Yeah.
But the problem is like, unless you would let me, like, I took, so I changed out Sanctuary, like last time I told you I was going to. So instead, I took Healing Word. So now at least once per long rest, I can range heal.
Yeah.
Right? But then I have Toll of the Dead and Word of Radiance. Two, like, my ranged is where I'm weakest. So I kind of had to take them, right?
Yeah, true.
Whereas, like, if I was a cleric, I would totally have minor illusion, or like a caster. Like, clerics are where I excel at when I have lots of options, or wizards.
Depends.
You want to see the havoc I can fucking cause if I have spells at my disposal?
That kind of let me reconsider that, like, maybe not giving you the magic item will be a better option if I want to run this game. No. Maybe it'll be better because it's, like, funnier or whatever. More shenanigans and stuff like that. It would be amazing.
Like, I have Zone of Truth as a prepared spell. I would totally walk into the throne room and be like, don't worry, I'll cast Zone of Truth and I'll do, like, fucking minor illusion instead of Zone of Truth. And just bullshit my way through stuff. Like,
God. Yeah.
Like, that is totally shit my character would do.
Yes, that's definitely what you will do, and that probably would work if you rolled high enough. And judging by what you rolled tonight, it's like...
Fly my way through.
Yeah. You can easily just talk your way through. It's, like, amazing.
Yeah, it looks different because I'm from a different plane. Don't worry about it. It works the same way.
Yeah. Don't worry about it, Ravani. You still have your chance. You can still talk your way out of this. With the guards, maybe. But anyway, like, amazing work, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Yeah,
it's all about how you commit.
Yes, true.
Get all bloody and throw up, and it's a whole performance. It's not just talking your way through it.
Yes.
I wish I had performance as a proficiency because that would be amusing.
That would be amazing. But lacking of the proficiency actually makes it better because it's like sometimes it's just
like my character setup is athletics, deception, intimidation, and persuasion. That's all I have for proficiencies. I'm a talker.
Yeah, paladins. What can you
Anyways.
do? Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
We should probably put like a haste icon on Tali for next time.
I will
just
do that.
just so that we remember that she is hasted.
I'll definitely do that. Before I leave. Okay.
Yeah. And when that sort of illusion sort of disappeared and the queen sort of showed up, I kind of had like a feeling in the back of my mind that maybe like the queen we've been seeing wasn't really the queen.
Yeah, I kind of.
You should have attacked her.
Set that up a while, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to put on the haste icon, but yeah.
I wrote in chat that she has haste.
She has haste.
You should have just killed the queen.
Should have.
Tali would have been. Isn't Tali like air?
Like her.
Yeah, haha. That would make it hilarious if everyone died and she's the only one left. That would certainly make things interesting.
Oh my god.